6 o'clock. Call the meeting to order. Everyone is here. Okay, we don't need a roll call. There is no minutes. So, first thing, going out of order here on the agenda, this was just handed to me.
I don't know what we were handed.
Since I'm going to be handling or potentially handling the hearing, I'll have to have Jenna advise you on that.
Okay.
She just showed up. I can either go run up there and talk to her real quick and have her come down. I just don't know if the delineation of powers on this one, since I'm going to be the prosecutor and she's advisor in that.
What? If you could do
Mr.
that?
Chair?
Yeah.
What are we discussing? We don't know what's in the letter.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I thought maybe you could share it with us. I don't know how to read.
Oh, come
I'll
on.
be back. Be right back. I'll get Jenna.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I
Okay.
passed it, but I didn't read it. Can you pass it in?
It went right by me, but I read it.
Yeah, I wasn't that fast.
Good photograph.
While we're waiting, we'll take item number 1. This is a police report with Hampton Inn.
Mr. Chair,
Owen Wagon.
if I could, I spoke to the agent regarding this. He was unavailable to be here tonight. I impressed upon him the importance of compliance in all of our ordinances. He was thoroughly unhappy with the situation, not with what we had done about it, but the fact that it had arisen in the first place. He alluded to some dishonesty on the part of an employee regarding whether they were licensed or not, and he assured me that they're giving it all the diligence that it deserves, and he didn't promise, but he says it won't be happening again. So, as the alderman of the district, I'm satisfied that they're sufficiently told of how important these concepts are to us. So,
I'll move to place on file.
second.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
I got all my stuff in the way. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
no, you're good.
Then we have Joseph Greasy. This is once again a police report for Natty Oaks. Come up here.
Yeah.
Okay, you know why you're here?
I got the letter, and so, I mean,
Okay, there was a fight in your bar, and obviously fights happen all the time, and I believe you even called the police, somebody from your, I don't remember, but...
is that who it was?
Can you check on the report and call the police? Anyways,
It didn't say in the report.
It didn't say it, but not say in the report.
didn't
It
say
just
in
said it
this
was
report?
called to it.
Or just-
Well, caller complainant Elizabeth Probst.
Oh, that was
On the
it?
Face page.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
it was,
Is that the person that called?
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
No, it wouldn't show up on
I
yours.
thought that was a friend or
That's just
something.
something here. Anyways, the reason why you're here is because I wanted you to come in because I know some of these people personally and about the funeral and everything. And I was talking with people and said that they were probably sitting in a bar probably for 8 hours, and then before the fight started, and so you got to expect something is happening. If people sit in a bar for 8 hours and the circumstances where they're doing their mother's funeral, you got to find a spot to cut them off.
Yeah.
Because you're not supposed to be serving people who had too much.
Right.
It's against the law. So I don't know. It's probably a number of people. I turned my phone off. I don't know why it's going. It's got a mind of its own. I thought I turned it off. Okay. So that's why you're here. And we prefer if you do call the police. In this case, you did and somebody else did, and you're supposed to always call the police. So that's why you're in front of us.
I appreciate that. Yeah,
So
thank you.
does anybody else have anything here? Okay, and just kind of watch those things.
We did review, I'm the owner.
Mhm.
We have a manager. I talked to him about this when I first got the letter. and I talked to him again today. He had actually gone home before the closing time because he thought things were winding down. You know, we looked at the sales were winding down. The duration of the time they were there is probably too long. You know, I don't know when they came. It wasn't a specific funeral party. You know, like sometimes we have funeral events.
They live close.
So we know when they are, and
right.
so they were there too long. And
Certainly. So I have a motion?
Move to place on file.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair?
Alderman Weigl.
I guess I was under the assumption that he would have been sent a copy of this police report. You have not seen this police report?
Well, he's
I got it,
got
but
the police
Oh,
report.
oh,
Probst,
okay.
though,
Okay.
Probst is not listed as. She said it's her friend. Her friend was in a fight with her father and brother. So I don't think that's the person who called in.
Okay, well,
So I don't know who called.
we want the operators to call.
Yeah,
We want
I
your
know.
staff to call you, the manager, whatever. And then, and just to reiterate what the chairperson said, I'm reading the police report here, it says, while consuming copious amounts of alcohol, Trevor and his brother got into a heated argument that led to both Trevor and Troy equally punching each other. So I guess the copious amounts, it's like, you know, and again, we want the house to call. We don't want a friend, a victim, a witness. We want.
I mean, apparently there was a fight in the bar, which I don't think we knew about. But the real fight was out after bar time, and they were walking home is when they really had it out.
Yeah, so somebody got arrested.
So I don't know. Again, my manager thought things were winding down enough where he was going to go home. So, but I appreciate. I mean, you read it and it's. I understand.
Okay.
We've gone back and coached everybody, like, you know, duration, amount, watch it closer, you know.
Okay, Alderman Knight?
What I had noticed was the hour that this call came in, approximately 2:52 in the morning, 52 minutes after bar close, is when the call came in, according to the report,
So that would have been,
after closing time.
But it was still. What's the address at your establishment?
11505. So it's a block to east.
Yeah. Okay. So they
So
took
if it's
52
something I
minutes to walk
noticed.
the block.
okay, so we have a motion and a
Yeah.
second. Is there any further discussion?
It's a pretty late time to get a
Yeah.
call about a fight in a bar. So, that's it. Thank you.
Well, the call was afterwards, but the fight was apparently before.
It started in the bar.
Apparently they wrestled or something in the bar, is the way this reads.
Oh, in the call.
And then they went outside and had it out after they left.
Okay.
Is there
It's pretty clear that's the way this reads.
any
but-
further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Jenna,
Yes.
this was given to us today.
But I see where it's for.
Yeah.
They started
It
walking
is here.
home and then they,
That was
I mean, even
I
Dad,
read the whole thing.
Dad
And-
wasn't there the whole
Did
night. He came
correct,
later, it
yes.
says that, so.
And so I just want to,
Yeah, I saw
I think he came.
I'm sorry? Stop.
we do anything else?
We place it on file,
See.
even though the individual
his
didn't
own-
come. We
I
still,
spoke to him
Marty's on
You
top.
done?
at length.
Good?
Yes,
yes. Thank you very much.
Thanks for stopping.
can we accept that, or?
It's up to you. You can vote to accept it. It's deemed a request, and you have to determine whether you would like to accept that request or go to hearing.
Okay, what I'd like to do is, because he's not gonna have a license now. He's gonna have to reapply for a license.
Right.
Did everybody read the letter?
It's somewhat,
Yeah,
but
right.
refresh us.
But- Well, he's just withdrawing his application.
And then what?
So, so he doesn't have a license, so he doesn't have a license, he hasn't applied for a license, so he doesn't have the license. If he applies again, you know, then it comes in front of us again. But I would say that unless the application accompanies a copy of the occupancy permit, don't even bring it to the committee, because we're not gonna vote on it.
And what if 2 or 3 years from now, when he still doesn't have it finished, and we're at quota? It's too bad?
We're at quota.
Well,
That's
if-
all right.
Quota.
If 3 months or 3
Yeah,
weeks,
3
we
weeks
don't,
now,
we
yeah,
don't have it,
well,
doesn't matter,
yeah.
but it's just like, but my point is that I don't wanna go through all this stuff again. I wanna have, you know, your occupancy permit, that you have it, and that you're ready to go, and you come in here, and we can just okay it, and go
I'm
from
not
there.
even gonna come in here until I have
Right.
occupancy.
It's good because you're not gonna get it, but we're not even gonna accept it, we're not even gonna put it on the agenda if it doesn't have a copy of the occupancy permit, it's easy for me to say. Okay, so how does the rest of the committee feel?
I move we accept the license holders surrendering of his liquor license.
Do I have a second?
I'll second. But
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. So,
And then that makes our hearing moot.
right.
There's a lot of stuff
And Jenna can go home.
on the
All right,
agenda.
cool.
do we want to place all those items on file then?
Yeah,
Okay. Do you want to do
yeah,
that?
because it's
That one?
technically, it's all over with, right? So we just place, when we get to them, later on, we just place them all on file,
Okay.
okay?
Thanks for coming.
All right, thank you all. Have a good rest of your
See,
evening.
now we don't have to pay her overtime. So, item number 3, let's see, Antonio?
And grilling?
Yeah, you can go. We're just gonna place it on file. You can go. I realize you had some other things
We'll see
going
when
on
I
also.
have my occupancy.
Yes.
Very good.
Look forward to it.
You know why you were called here, right?
Yes.
Because everything, and we do these compliance checks all the time, and whether you're a bar, or restaurant, or a beer depot, you have to have a
License,
proper
right.
license and everything like that.
Right.
And I don't know, totally what happened, but
So what happened was I was there earlier. I had to run to get one of my children, drop him back off, come back. Within that time, he came in, and that's just what happened. So, and that the actual bartender that was there, she's here tonight. She's applying for a license. So
okay.
that's the only day we don't have a licensed bartender. So I am there, or my father's there all the time. So it just happened to be where too many things came up, and I made a mistake, and they caught me. So
Okay, yeah, you've been in the city a long time,
35
Good.
years. Yeah.
good restaurant and everything, it's just that everybody's got to obey the rules.
Oh yeah.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Move to place on file.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Okay, Charles Hastings? I guess so. Oh, I'm sorry, the one called in. These are just the police reports?
No, it says appearance order. I'm seeing it on here on my agenda. It says appearance ordered.
Number-
Just first no show?
Okay, let's just put them aside. Okay, Desiree? Oh my notes, I'm gonna miss something. Okay, you're applying for Katerina's.
Yeah.
Um, Okay, this is a new application. Okay, oh, I had one back
Yeah, Mr. Chair, if I may.
here. Who has?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know.
How many DUIs have you had?
2.
2? Okay. And sometimes it's unclear on our printout even as to how many DUIs an individual has had, but in fact, you representing to us that it's 2, I believe what you're saying. I don't have any reason to disagree with what you're saying. A big concern before our committee is that on at least 2 occasions in the past, you've made some bad choices for yourself. I'm saying exactly what Alderman
Yeah,
Weigel
sounds
says, and he stole that. Yeah. So what we want to make sure is that in the future that you're making good choices, not just for yourself, but also for your customers. You're gonna, as a licensed bartender, well, your establishment is the chairperson alluded to, is a good establishment, one that where you don't have many problems with, but at points you're going to have to cut people off. So we're going to look for you to be able to do that. Also, a third DUI is a big problem for this committee. So you've had 2, and well, that's okay from our perspective at this point, as long as there isn't another going forward. Yeah. And
Do not plan on it at all. I have a 3-year-old at home now, and I've straightened my act out since, being young and stupid.
Okay. And the other part too is, which for everyone here, is that we want our bartenders to work with the police. If you're ever in a scenario, in an incident where you're thinking, should I or shouldn't I call the police? The answer is always call the police. And you need to be helpful to the police, be able to say, this is what happened, this is what the person did, give a description of that individual, they went that way. You need to be cooperative. Those are the important things.
Absolutely.
For full disclosure to the committee, I know the application indicates arrests, convictions, the whole gamut of stuff. There's 2 other issues that happened in 08 that were either dismissed or read in. There's an 08 prescription drug issue that was dismissed, and an 08 bail jump that was, I believe, read into the OWI. Is that something right?
Yes, the OWI was bail jumping, or
Okay.
I had a bail jumping. I was on, can't remember the place that I would go and visit every week, and I missed one of my appointments.
Okay.
I'll move approval.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Now this goes to the full council.
September 6th.
September 6th, yeah.
4th,
Is that when it is?
5th, the first Tuesday in September.
Yeah.
Okay,
And the whole council has to vote on it.
okay,
Okay, and then and after that date, you can pick it up or we'll mail it.
And
Okay.
so on that Wednesday, it'll be available to pick up,
okay,
or if you don't pick it up that day, the Wednesday, it'll be mailed to you.
okay.
So you don't have a license yet?
No, do I need to come to that meeting?
No.
No.
No, okay, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any reason why the council would deny it?
Half the council's here right now.
Yeah,
It's
so
all
a
right.
5-0 out of this committee, that's,
Usually there's no problem.
It's a recommendation.
you know,
Yeah.
unless she goes on a murder spree over the next week.
Don't do that.
Then we'll probably move to reconsider.
Yeah.
Right.
I have your old at home.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Jeannie Mendez? Okay, so new application. You don't know where you're gonna work yet?
Yeah, I do. Applebee's.
Oh, Applebee's, okay.
Janine, can you get off your phone while you're talking to us, please?
I'm just pulling up the
Oh.
record that I paid my warrant.
Oh, okay. That's a good reason then. I thought you were being disrespectful,
Definitely
but
not.
I understand where you're coming from then.
Okay.
'Cause that's number 1 on our list, is you have a warrant.
Yes, so I just want to show that it's paid.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, is your license
On the
still
road.
suspended?
What's that?
Is your license still suspended?
Yeah, I don't drive.
Okay. How'd you get here?
My mom and my kids are outside in the car.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Thank you.
Okay, let me put down, let's see, driving suspended, speeding, disorderly conduct, or a question mark after. The disorderly conduct is obstructing an officer, obviously you didn't cooperate with an officer.
Yeah, but
Something that's
it
what I
was
get.
pulled from my record. I got it pulled off my record, so
It says, it does say dismissed here, I apologize.
Yeah. I was
It's
in.
not, it's
nursing-
still on your record, it just says dismissed, so.
Well, yeah, I got it like expunged because I was in nursing school and it was like a problem getting in nursing school because of it. So
Okay.
Well, Mr. Chair.
Likely
Oh,
reopened
my-
and dismissed. You can't expunge a municipal ticket, but it can be reopened and dismissed
yeah,
by the
I
court.
had to get a lawyer and pay a lot of money to get it taken off just to get in nursing school.
Alderman Wagner?
I'm just curious, what was the nature of the obstruction of the officer?
I was like 17 years old, and when I was getting arrested, I moved my arm wrong, and he said it was obstructing an officer.
Okay. Then what were you being arrested for?
It came with a disorderly conduct.
Oh, it's- oh, okay.
Generally, those are 2 different things.
Okay, you heard what we said to the other people, you know, make sure you card and make sure you watch people and everything, and we do the compliance checks, or, you know, the police come in and check on your license, and we do compliance checks where we send underage people in, you know, knowingly to watch for that. So do I have a motion on this?
I'll move for approval.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
We're not gonna ask, Mr. Chair, we're not gonna ask to see her proof that she paid the warrant, or do you know if she paid the
I
warrant?
don't, and I
You have,
don't see an officer here either today,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
You said you have something on your phone to
Yeah.
show us?
You wanna see it or should
Sure.
you?
Chinese to me. That's Chinese.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you-
If you say so, it's New Berlin. It looks like a record of payment online. If the committee is concerned about it, I have no problem calling them tomorrow and double checking, but that would delay any approval. It's completely your call if that's what you want me to do.
Well, it would just, she's not gonna be approved really by, till the whole committee. So if you could double check on that,
Sure.
it wouldn't be hard to take a PDF or whatever.
Okay.
And if there's an issue, just send an email to the chair.
Okay.
Thank you. If you don't mind me.
No, that's fine. Okay, I have a motion and a second.
Mr. Chair, I'm just noticing the frequency of the latest issues on here with the speeding, and a month and a half later speeding, and a few months later driving with no insurance and no license, then a few months later operating while suspended and speeding and no insurance, and a couple months later operating while suspended, a few months later operating while suspended, a few months later operating while suspended, no proof of insurance. This is kind of it shows a record of not following the law and respecting a license. And so I've got some concerns with this one. I'm not so sure I'm going to vote yes on this one. Unless someone can convince me otherwise. That's a lot within a short amount of time.
The reason why we look at the driving record, because you're given a license with a lot of rules and regulations, the same way we're giving you a liquor license to sell liquor with rules and regulations. Now we read this and say she's not abiding those rules. What makes you think she's going to abide ours? And that's why we do it. So.
If I may, I'm
Go
sorry,
on,
Richard. And why were you pulled over on these? Because the police don't know that you have a suspended license. They have a reason to pull you over. What were the reasons? Because
They potentially could know
Yeah.
if they run the
Alpers?
license plate,
License plates all.
and then if it goes back to registered owner and it says that person is
with
suspended,
that,
they might be able to find out.
The system
that
they have,
constant spinning at that camera one that the
constant checking plates.
The officers they'll type in the
Okay, that way
license
too.
plate
Okay.
and
all right.
say his owner or vehicle registrant is suspended. If it's a guy driving it, they probably couldn't stop the car. If it was a gal that seemed to fit the description of the owner or the person who's suspended, they can stop the vehicle at that point. So it might just be for that.
I don't even own a vehicle anymore, so I don't drive.
Okay, is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Aye. No. Nay.
Got it.
Okay, so it's
What
4-1
day is
vote.
today?
It goes to the full council,
Ryan.
first Tuesday in September, and everybody will vote on it. We'll see what happens.
So what does that mean?
So you don't have a license, well, you wouldn't have a license anyways until after the council
Either
vote.
way.
But at council, there's 5 other members that have to vote. So this isn't a guarantee that it is passed.
Okay.
It has passed this committee. Okay, so I would check on you the day after, or if you wanna come down here, you can do that too in the council meeting. That's at 7 o'clock, so.
Or you can watch it on YouTube.
If you're in town, you can see what it is. So.
And that's on when? When does that happen?
First Tuesday in September.
7 p.m.
Well, I don't
We're gonna make you watch the Pledge of Allegiance and everything.
take off my glasses, still can't see.
Alright,
September 5th.
okay.
You said 6th and 4th, no shit.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
Tina Hamlin. Okay, this is a second.
The second no-show?
Oh yeah, the certified letter came back. Second
Move for
no-show.
denial based on 2 non-appearances.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Carried. Melissa Hutchins. Jeez, I'm pronouncing your name absolutely perfect too.
Hutchins.
Hutchins. yeah.
Hutchins.
Hey,
You're not
how,
Hutchins.
how do you know? She's not here.
How did I look how it's spelled?
She may say it a different way. Once again, certified letter returned, undeliverable. Second request.
Move for denial based on 2 non-appearances.
Two non-appearances.
Second.
Do any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Michelle Bond.
Or that could be bone as well.
That could be.
Well, there's no bond.
More
I
like
think this is the second one also, isn't it?
This is also second request, certified
Move for
letter
denial
signed.
based on 2 non-appearances.
Second.
Maybe they're all coming with Chaz.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Justin Reed. Second request, certified letter, no response.
Move for denial based on 2 non-appearances.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Shannon Yarwood.
Hey,
Hey,
Not a winner.
did he say your name correctly?
Yes, Yarwood.
perfect.
People say Yarnwood, and I'm like, there's no N.
I'm a
Okay, this second request this is a new application. And you're gonna be working at Remedy?
No, I decided not to work for Remedy due to misconduct from the owner, and now I will be working at Bottoms Up.
Okay.
Good thing, because there's 2 other people who just didn't get their licenses for that.
Right, so.
Yeah, I just got off of work, so
There's
if
some
I can do
openings.
it, they can do it. I got off an hour and 15 minutes early, not something I wanted to do, but I did it.
Okay, DUI. Okay,
Yeah, how many DUIs have you had? One. Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Alden Waggle.
that's why you're called in. You know,
That's fine.
yeah.
I kind of figured.
You know, you heard how, you know, we want you to treat your customers.
Oh, yeah.
I guess everything else is far enough in the past. But, and I guess what's implied consent, is that the DUI? So it's,
You refused the breathalyzer.
Yeah,
or-
I didn't know that was mandatory. They gave me a choice, and I hit my head, and I was just like, well, you should have just made it mandatory. I didn't know by refusing I was going to get another
Another
ticket
charge,
and then
yeah.
another charge.
yeah, okay.
Do I have
It's the
a-
same thing though. There's not, it doesn't come twice. It's just in the WI. Same thing.
And that ticket's paid off.
Do I have a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Now, you know, you don't have a license now until the council votes on it on the 4th, 5th, or 6th. I don't have three
Fifth.
answers yet.
Fifth.
It is the 5th.
Until you have a license in your hand,
Right.
Okay.
or wallet or purse.
I mean, yeah, okay.
Is my temporary still
Your temp's still
withholding?
good.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
temp, it's still good.
Thank you. I appreciate
Okay.
that. We good?
Yep.
Enjoy your day.
Thank you.
Miss Rios,
Yesenia.
Yesenia? Is that how you say it, Yesenia?
Yes, yeah. You were close. You were close.
Yeah, I know. I heard it in the back.
Danielle
I
and
think so.
I'm like, where'd you get that from?
Okay. We have, okay, it's a new application. You don't know where you're working yet?
No, bartending, something that I do around the holiday time. I work full time. I go to school 20 hours a week. So it's just something I pick up around the holidays, make extra money for the kids for Christmas and stuff.
Okay, all we have is one thing since 2003.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I'll move approval.
Second.
That's why you're here.
Why? I'm curious.
Possession of marijuana conviction in 2003.
Because it wasn't listed on the form.
Yeah, because you didn't disclose that. when you filled out
Oh,
the
okay.
application. I assume that was a joint or something.
I worked third shift. I got home. I had to drop the kids off. I slipped out of my uniform, put something my sister had poured previously. Wasn't even weight worthy, but I had it in the pocket.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
So we're gonna, okay. These are, okay, the,
13 is the cat network?
yeah, kind of, they're paid?
Cat Network paid, I'm told.
On the 5th, then do I come in?
You don't have to come in.
You don't have to come for the meeting. If you need the license right away on the 6th, you can pick it up on that Wednesday in the clerk's office. But if you get here, you have to get here, say, before like 2 o'clock, because then it goes in the mail. It'll be mailed to you.
You can go, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, it's paid in full as of yesterday.
Correct.
Okay, so just place this on file?
Who can place on file?
Second.
Was that like $65?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's small.
Yeah, small amount.
Any further discussion?
You
All in
guys have to
favor?
rate this.
Aye.
Aye.
Are we opposed?
Principal.
Okay, then we have Timothy Sanchez. Back there, Tim. Okay, so, whoa.
They were served.
So do we go for someone's complaint on this?
We already did.
No, that's right, we did. Yeah, I know, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, you signed it, you idiot. Go ahead.
Nikki, what item number are we on? Is it
14.
14.
Thank you.
I forgot I did sign it, so, okay.
It is Patelli, yeah.
But what's the total that they owe now?
About
It's like
2,300?
23 and
24?
1,200 and 1,100.
So,
A little hot round up and.
so from non-appearance, we can take their license,
correct.
and that would be their,
Food license. They don't have an alcohol license. They just have the health department food license.
they've been there a long time, but I know these things have been happening on a regular basis.
I can tell the court that I also have a pending municipal case where they did show up, discussed that with me. I did discuss, didn't we have them here at one point? I thought they were here and talked, he came with his son, and they discussed the issue and then never remade contact or set up payment plan or did anything that they were supposed to do, and so we had to move to this.
Was it last year? Or?
No, it was
No, they
2 or
were-
3 appearances ago.
Yeah, they
In
were
front of our
in.
committee?
Yep.
Mhm. And he said he was going to pay by the end of that week.
His son
Okay.
did.
It's on tape.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So, Mr. Chair,
Going.
All the way.
what are the options here? Could we just suspend it until it's paid? Do we take it?
We could
I mean,
suspend for a period of time. I don't think we can suspend indefinitely till it's paid. There has to be some end time. I believe the maximum is 90 days or so.
And then that being the case, in terms of like double jeopardy, can we suspend and then revoke it later if they still don't pay? At the end of that
You could
suspension?
order another summons and complaint, and I could re-up. I mean, if they still haven't paid, that's a continuing violation.
Mhm.
In my mind, I don't think there would be any reason not to. I mean, any reason we couldn't. They didn't get the message from the first.
Or we could do a 90-day suspension and say at the end of 90 days
Why do,
it's revoked. Or
why do we want to do that?
well,
They're not open right
They
now.
were supposed
Mr.
to
Chair?
be here. Weren't they supposed to be here?
I was going to ask.
We have some.
I've heard of it. I've never even been there.
Yeah.
I've never been for telling. So,
The food's good.
Mr. Chair?
I've been there.
According to their Facebook page, they're not open right now. They're doing some remodeling. It specifically says plumbing. Do we know if they have anything going with Ed's department? Their idea of plumbing could be minor plumbing. It could be something that doesn't require a permit. But they've been closed for like 2 weeks.
I don't believe that's the issue I have for the building code case. I think it's a parking lot, among other things.
Okay.
Parking lot's the biggest issue.
Right. Well, and plus they owe the
Mr.
But
Chairman?
they owe some money.
And they're
Oh,
officially
well.
not suspended until September 5th, then, correct, though?
right.
Or like, we wouldn't,
Oh, yeah,
Well,
the
officially
whole
here
committee had to
signs
vote on it.
is-
The whole council had to
can we
vote on it.
contact them beforehand and like,
Say he's got till September 5th to come pay it off, otherwise
yeah,
he's
or,
going to be suspended.
yeah, like we
This
really
is your
do
final,
need it.
final notice. Yeah, I'm going to move for that.
Well, okay, they were supposed to be here, someone's complaint, they weren't here, so we can, revoke their license.
Can revoke, suspend, non-renew. Those are 3 options.
Right.
Non-renew is not an option at this point, but revoke and
But
suspend.
that doesn't take, but it has to go to the full council, this doesn't come from us.
Just think anything, right?
Yeah, so we can
Revoke right
Revoke.
now.
Right,
revoke.
Move for revocation right now.
we have a second.
Second.
And whoever's district that is in, he should come and stop by. Reach out to the business owner. Let
Well, they're
them
not
know
open.
we missed you on a Tuesday. You better get your butt in and pay off the $2,300.
I think they have more cash problems than that. And that
They're
the real
saying
reason
they're
they're
talking
closed.
about opening new locations
Okay, so,
on Facebook.
so is there any further discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, I left it blank. Okay, then we have 15, 16, 17, 18,
Move to
and 19.
through 19, place on file, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Is there any further discussion on this? We're ending this chapter.
For now.
For now.
No,
The book
no,
is
no.
still open.
No,
Not until we
it's
can go
not.
back and throw
The
back a
book is
beer.
closed. He wants to open a new book up,
Yeah.
but like I said to him, if when that application comes in and there's no occupancy permit, it's not even coming to the committee. It's not going to come in front of us. I don't want to see him again unless I walk in there. So, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
So we just have one no-show.
Have you had
Okay,
any
so,
contact with no?
The one, I meant,
Yeah.
that's all the one I.
Charles Hastings.
Well, good.
Charles Hastings isn't here. We'll hold that over, the matter over until next time.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?